of our video today is how to stop overthinking. Now, right off the bat, what if I told you that what if overthinking isn't actually the problem? What if overthinking isn't the problem, and instead, what it is that you are overthinking about, that's the real problem. So, we're going to break this down so that you can understand how to, again, stop overthinking, but actually how to start doing what will serve you so much more so that you can achieve more happiness, more success, more health, more wealth, more abundance, or whatever it is that you want in your life. So, okay, let me go back. Most people actually are stuck with overthinking because they are overthinking on worst case scenario. In other words, their mind is often filled with thoughts of what if this doesn't work out? What if I can't achieve this? What are people going to think of me? What if I get rejected? What if it's too hard? What if it's too late? Catastrophizing the future. What if all these bad things happen? What if I'm not smart enough? What if I'm not good enough? So in other words, if we overthink about all these things, how things are not going to work out and how I'm going to get rejected and I'm going to get blamed and I'm going to get shamed and I'm going to lose everything, then obviously that kind of thinking is going to severely hold us back, not only from being our best self, but from taking action toward the things that we want to do and need to be doing. You see? And instead, let's take somebody, if whoever you consider an iconic figure, in your opinion, an icon, okay? Whether they're alive or dead, but even somebody like Elon Musk, or somebody like Mother Teresa, or somebody like Jeff Bezos. You don't think those people overthink? That's all they do is incessantly think. But the big difference, I promise and guarantee you, is that their thoughts orient mostly on what if this goes well? What else can I achieve? How could this work out for me? What is it that I want? What are the things that I already have that can help me? Who can help me? Who can I hire? What else do I get to do? In other words, people. So here's the trick, okay? Really, at the core, overthinking isn't really the problem. First of all, you must identify, what do you want? What is it that you want to achieve in your life? And obviously there's many categories, right? But even in something like in your relationships or in your health or in your wealth or in um, your hobbies or finances. Number one, what do you want? Get crystal clear first, right? And then the overthinking, we're not no longer going to orient it toward, oh, what if this doesn't work out? What if it's too hard? Woe is me. It never works out for me. That is kind of stinking overthinking, right? Instead, you're going to start to focus on, hey, what if this does work out? What are all the rewards? What am I going to celebrate? What am I going to appreciate? So you orient your mind, and this takes practice because remember, we live in a very negativity biased society, culture, marketing, it's all over the place, right? There's a lot of shame and guilt and fear mongering around us. And because of that, you must be so curious and fascinated with your own thoughts to realize, wait a minute, am I doing stinking thinking, or am I focusing and thinking about all the good things that are going to happen for me in the future, all the good things that I can already appreciate now? What are the resources that you already have? What are the talents that you already have? What are the skills that you already have? Who could possibly help you? What are the action steps that you could be taking today? So, in other words, the overthinking isn't the problem. What what are you focusing on? What are you thinking of? And the minute you catch yourself in this negativity spiral, woe is me, and I'm not good enough, and I'm not smart enough, and people are not going to like me, and what if I get negative? If you catch yourself in that, or even fear about the future, or worrying, or catastrophizing, remember that right there, you got to pull yourself out and say, no, wait a minute. If I am the leader in my life, if I'm the authority, if I am somebody who is successful, if I'm somebody who has the potential to become wealthy, if I'm somebody who has this goal that I want to achieve, what must I become obsessed in my thinking and begin to only see the goal? Begin to only see, why can I succeed? Why is this going to work out? How is this going to work out? What else can I do today to make this a success? And that takes practice, yes. And the best part about it is when you begin to practice this efficiently, this is going to work for you. And before you know it, and I'm actually not a big fan of when they say, oh, you got to think positively. You got to think. I'm not a fan of thinking positively necessarily, but efficiently, meaning what are the thoughts that I want to be thinking about that will cause me to be successful, right? Because if I berate myself and shame myself and blame myself and call myself names and focus on the past and realize, oh, the past was crappy, so that means the future is going to be crappy. I've never been able to succeed in the past, which means that's stinking thinking. Instead of, yes, we want to focus on what are all the good things that are going to happen, what can I achieve, and yes, of course, also consider what might be some of the challenges, right? You want to see 10 steps ahead. And that's not negative thinking, that's just being realistic and realizing, no problem. These are the challenges I might be facing. Hey, in the past, I have already found so many solutions to situations. In the past, I have already conquered through so many challenges. In the past, I've been through trials and tribulations, and I always found a way. Notice, once again, you want to direct your mind in feeling more empowered, feeling more equipped, feeling more resourceful. And when you can take the past and realize, listen, if you've come this far and if you've achieved all those things, you can achieve so much more. But this time it's going to be much more effortlessly and easily because the past already was training ground for your success. All those repetitions and revolutions you have been through are literally what trained you so that you can be at this level now. Do you see the difference? And so many people are stuck in overthinking and anxiety and fear and worrying when right there, stop. Like when you find yourself worrying and overthinking about the bad things, that's when you literally like either shake it out or shake it off or change your mind literally and be like, no, wait a minute, if I keep thinking that, how's that going to impact me? How's that going to make me feel? And remember, as a hypnotherapist, my job, I'm always the last resort. People usually tell me, I've been to therapy, I've read all the books, I've done all kinds of self-help work, self-development, it didn't work. Yeah, because those things talk to your mind. Me, your hypnotherapist, I talk to the part of you that controls your mind, which is your subconscious, and nobody touches that. And that's why people find it so hard to change when actually, no, change isn't hard. You just need to know how to make that happen for you. And if you understand, number one, so many people have childhood programming controlling their adult life, no wonder, right? Because as children, we are born and bred to conform, obey, and perform for other people's terms, conditions, standards, definitions of success, not your own. So therefore, as adults, we often just keep rinse repeat that same program. And as an adult, that's the exact wrong thing to do. And instead, you get to decide as an adult, what do you want? What kind of life do you want? And start taking action toward those things. But that's exactly when your subconscious is going to start to overthink and, oh, what if this happens? And what if that happens? And what if it doesn't work out? Remember, That's just how we're designed. But as an adult, as the authority figure in your life, you get to override that. You get to change that, and you get to begin focusing on what would success mean to you? What does happiness look like for you, right? Focus on all the things that on how you could succeed, because now you're literally programming your mind to find those doors. Those doors are going to open for you. Those opportunities are going to show up for you. Because why? Because you're focusing on all the things you want to achieve. Because unfortunately, and again, people call this overthinking, but if I keep overthinking on all the things, the doom and gloom, and how things are not going to work out, and how I'm going to fail, and how I'm going to humiliate myself, well, that literally, it not only are you predicting your future, but you're designing that kind of future, which is the worst thing you can do. But remember, that just means you're stuck in an old loop that isn't serving you. And very much of that is still this childhood programming. So that's number one. A lot of people are stuck with childhood programming running their adult life, and you can't fix what you don't understand. The minute I explain to my clients, look, it's not more logic or more willpower or more self discipline that you need to understand how your system works. And if nobody teaches you how to train your subconscious, which your subconscious controls 95% of your life, then no wonder it feels like taking 2 steps forward or 3 steps back. Or something I will hear a lot is, Susan, can you help me get out of my own way? That, believe it or not, is an accurate statement, because we are the ones that are in our own way when we don't know what is controlling us, right? As Carl Jung said, until you make conscious what's in your subconscious, it will control your life. And we come to the conclusion and call it, oh, it's my genetics, it's my bad luck. Oh, it's just I'm not fortunate like everybody else. That's just how things are. And that's not true. That's how you have been programmed. And we can change that. As an adult, you get to change that. That's the best news that I can give you. And again, it's not called willpower. It's not called more self discipline or lack of motivation. It's called rewiring your subconscious, getting rid of those beliefs that are no longer serving you, the conclusions you came to, the opinions you might have, those disempowering thoughts that are running your life underneath the surface. I call them subconscious blocks, right? Once you remove those, that's when your life is going to start to be much more effortless. And getting out of your comfort zone is going to become easier. And you will feel more in control of yourself. You'll be more relaxed. You will have more joy in your life. And this is going to sound weird, but you will finally give yourself permission to pursue those things that you really, really want. Remember, as a kid, you had to seek permission, you had to ask, you had to raise your hand. But the tables have turned completely. As an adult, you're the one who's in charge. You get to call the shots. You get to give yourself permission, and nobody's going to come to save you. So, this is where you get to, this is a total transformation, alchemy, right? Where you morph from child archetype into adult archetype. And that takes a different level of you, that takes a different caliber. And the way you become that is by deciding, giving yourself permission and deciding that if you don't do it for you, nobody's going to do it for you. So I hope this helped you. Obviously, if you want more, you know where to find me. I'll see you next time.